Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this explosive edition of entertainment news where the world of glamour and grit collides in the most unexpected way. Imagine the bright lights of a bustling morning TV studio in London, the air humming with the chatter of producers and the faint scent of fresh coffee mingling with hairspray. It's a crisp October morning in 2025, and the set of Lorraine Kelly's beloved ITV show is abuzz with anticipation. The iconic host, Lorraine Kelly, known for her warm Scottish charm and decades of dishing out celebrity scoops, is gearing up for what should be a glittering interview with none other than Dame Helen Mirren, the Oscar-winning powerhouse whose career spanned from Shakespearean stages to blockbuster screens. Helen, at 80 years young, strides into the studio exuding that signature poise, elegant in a tailored emerald green blazer that hugs her frame just so, her silver hair swept into a chic chignon, diamonds glinting at her ears like stars caught in twilight. She's here to promote her latest venture, a riveting HBO miniseries titled Echoes of Empire, where she embodies the fierce spirit of a Victorian-era spy navigating the treacherous underbelly of colonial intrigue. The cameras roll, the theme music swells with its upbeat brass fanfare, and Lorraine beams from ear to ear, her tartan skirt swishing as she settles into her plush armchair. "Helen, darling, you look absolutely radiant. Ageless, really. Tell us, how do you keep that fire burning after all these years?" she gushes, her voice a melodic lilt that fills the studio like honeyed tea. Helen smiles graciously, her blue eyes twinkling with the wisdom of 1,000 roles, and launches into tales of her grueling preparation. Late nights poring over dusty archives in the British Library, mastering dialects that twist the tongue like pretzels, and even a daring stunt where she rappelled down a mock embassy wall, her heart pounding like a war drum. The interview kicks off with the kind of effervescent energy that Lorraine Kelly has patented over her illustrious 30-plus years on air, her laughter bubbling like champagne at a Highland Ceilidh. Helen Mirren, seated across from her in a velvet-upholstered guest chair that cradles her like an old friend, recounts the genesis of Echoes of Empire with the eloquence of a bard spinning yarns by firelight. "It started with a dusty letter I found in my grandmother's attic," she confides, her voice a rich timbre honed by years on West End boards. A missive from a forgotten agent whispering secrets that could topple empires. Lorraine's eyes widen like saucers, her hands clasped in delight as she leans in, the studio lights casting a halo around her auburn bob. "Helen, you're not just acting, you're resurrecting history. And at your age, defying gravity in those stunts? You're an inspiration to women everywhere." The words land with a thud Helen didn't anticipate, her smile faltering for the briefest instant, like a flicker in an old film reel. But she presses on, describing the physical toll, the bruises from harness rigs that bloomed like purple orchids on her skin, the endless takes under relentless rain machines that left her chilled to the bone, evoking the damp miseries of Victorian England. The audience applauds, a wave of warmth washing over the set, dotted with potted ferns and framed posters of past guests, from rock legends to royal insiders. Lorraine, seizing the momentum, pivots to Helen's personal ethos on aging, a topic that's become her clarion call in recent years. "You've said it yourself, Helen, embrace the wrinkles, the wisdom lines that map our battles." As the segment hurtles toward its zenith, Lorraine Kelly's barrage of questions takes on the relentless rhythm of a tabloid headline factory, each one probing deeper into the sanctum of Helen Mirren's meticulously guarded privacy. The studio clock gleams under the Klieg lights, its hands marching inexorably toward the half-hour mark, while the live feed beams out to millions across the UK, from rainy Manchester flats to sun-dappled Scottish crofts. Helen, ever the professional, fields the inquiries with the deft parry of a fencer, recounting her foray into directing a short film on climate refugees, her voice weaving passion with pathos as she describes the raw anguish of families displaced by rising seas. "It's not just acting," she asserts, her gestures expansive, hands slicing the air like a conductor's baton. "It's a call to arms, a reminder that our stories must amplify the silenced." Lorraine nods emphatically, her bangles jingling like wind chimes in a breeze. But then she swerves again, her tone dipping into that familiar vein of cheeky familiarity. Absolutely, Helen, you're a force. But let's get real. At 80, channeling a 30-year-old spy? The internet's ablaze with theories. Personal trainer? Green juices? Or dare I say, a touch of surgical wizardry to keep those cheekbones sharp as ever. The words tumble out laced with laughter, intended as icebreakers, but they land like lead weights in Helen's lap. Her posture stiffens, shoulders squaring like battlements, as a flush creeps up her neck, not from embarrassment, but from the slow boil of indignation. The audience murmurs, a low susurrus rippling through the rows, some chuckling nervously, others exchanging furrowed brows. Helen sets down her teacup with deliberate precision, the porcelain clinking against the saucer like a gavel's fall. Lorraine, she begins, her tone velvet over steel. I've spent a lifetime being reduced to my shell. The hair, the hemlines, the so-called secrets of my shelf life. In the immediate aftermath, the ITV studio transforms from a haven of hospitality into a hive of hushed hysteria. The air thick with the acrid tang of spilled tea, metaphorical and otherwise. Lorraine Kelly, her cheeks still flushed from the verbal volley, sits frozen in her chair, the ghost of a smile etched on her lips like a mask slipped askew. The theme music blares awkwardly over the feed, a jaunty jig that clashes with the palpable pall, as commercials for laundry detergent and life insurance drone on, oblivious to the seismic shift just staged. Backstage, a whirlwind erupts. Assistants dart like shadows, clutching clipboards and water bottles, while the floor manager bellows into his walkie-talkie. Cut to weather now, and someone find Helen's people. The guest lounge, usually a sanctuary of cucumber sandwiches and chamomile, echoes with the murmur of Helen's entourage, her sharp-suited agent pacing with phone glued to ear, the makeup artist dabbing at phantom blemishes on her own brow, and Helen herself, perched on a leather ottoman, exhaling slowly, as if purging the venom of the exchange. I've had warmer inquisitions from MI6, she quips dryly to her publicist, who nods furiously, already drafting a statement laced with diplomacy and bite. Outside, the London drizzle patters against the windows like impatient fingers, mirroring the storm brewing in real time across digital realms. Twitter, now X, ignites with a frenzy of hashtags. Hashtag Helen Walks Out trends within minutes, propelled by eagle-eyed viewers live tweeting the drama. Dame Helen just slayed that sycophantic nonsense. Hashtag Lorraine Kelly, hashtag Queen Mirren. Posts one fan, her tweet garnished with crown emojis. Another chimes in, Lorraine went full tabloid troll. Age shaming under compliments. Helen's grace under fire is everything. Hashtag boycott Botox banner. The fallout from Helen Mirren's audacious exit cascades through the cultural zeitgeist like a Highland torrent, reshaping conversations from cozy kitchen tables to highbrow symposiums with the force of a Category 5 gale. By midday, the clip, grainy yet gripping, captured on a viewer's phone, has amassed millions of views on YouTube, dissected frame by frame in slow-motion montages that highlight Helen's glacial rise, her parting shot delivered with the precision of a sniper. Talk shows pivot en masse. Good Morning Britain dedicates a full hour to the Mirren moment, with panelists ranging from grizzled journalists to fresh-faced influencers clashing like swords in a lists. It's about time someone called out the infantilizing patter, argues a Guardian columnist, her spectacles glinting under studio spots. Lorraine's compliments were coded condescension, reducing a titan to a beauty pageant contestant. Counterpoints fly. A Daily Mail scribe retorts, lighten up, it's telly, not the UN. Helen's hypersensitivity risks chilling candid chat. Social media morphs into a coliseum, gladiators of opinion hurling barbs and bouquets. Hashtag Stand With Helen surges, flooded with testimonials. Women in their 70s sharing war stories of workplace microaggressions, millennials nodding in solidarity over Instagram filters that promise eternal girlhood. Brand scramble. L'Oreal, fresh off a Mirren campaign touting, because you're worth it sans surgery, issues a statement lauding her empowering authenticity, while Botox purveyors tiptoe around with vague wellness platitudes. Lorraine Kelly, holed up in her producer's office amid stacks of apology drafts, emerges for a mea culpa on her next broadcast, her voice quavering like a leaf in the wind. I hold Helen in the highest esteem. My faux pas was born of admiration gone awry.